And welcome to the latest edition of the 941 Sports Zone. Episode number 32 is about to get underway. I am Spitz. Over to the far right is John Final Four Masoni.
Yeah, it was bittersweet
You
16
really,
last week.
you,
Yeah.
yeah, you really dug deep into the name thing there, John.
I tried 5 different ways to make something out of four, and I just didn't have the creativity flowing. I'm sure I'll come up with something a little better next week.
Yeah, it'll be Masters Week, so I'm
There
sure
you
you'll
go.
come up with something.
There's lots of stuff for that.
Absolutely. We've got a lot to talk about. We'll obviously talk about the Final Four. A very, very interesting story in the PGA, a tremendous story. And then just the opposite. We'll talk a little bit about that. We got Lightning back on top in the division. The Heat and Magic are going the absolute wrong way. And we'll talk a little bit about ABS, but we're going to start talking a little bit about Venice baseball, which, of course, is something in the 941 that is always at the top, and they've really taken it to another level. Jeffrey Fulcher, an assistant coach, kind enough to join us on the program. Jeffrey, how are you, buddy?
Good, sir. Thank you for having me on. Excited to be here with you guys.
And Rich, Jeffrey is also a media savvy guy.
Oh, is he?
Oh, wait a second. He's my. I would say that you and Trey are about 50-50 now as far as partnerships are concerned.
About 50.
He's also my stand-in play-by-play guy for when I go to, one of my exotic vacations I like to go on.
Yeah, like Colorado. Yeah, I got you. Colorado in the middle of winter. How exotic.
And he might be the best PA announcer we've ever had.
Oh.
Because when our executive producer of our live stream comes up and she says, "Put Jeff on the mic."
Wow.
I'm like, okay, I'm not going to get yelled at. I'll go ahead and do it right away. So
would that be Jessica?
Yes, exactly, Jessica. and Jeffrey also works with USF football, right, Jeff? That's your deal too.
Yes, sir. Also I'm with the football team. That's where I learn all my PA skills.
See?
Okay.
See?
Great.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll tell you what, the baseball team is off to an unbelievable start. It's hard to believe that the regular season's nearly over. They won one tournament a couple of weeks ago, and then they went to the very prestigious NHSI tournament in North Carolina, a tournament that they were the defending champs, and they got all the way to the championship game, came up just a run short, but to make two runs like that in a prestigious tournament like that is pretty amazing. I'm sure Craig Faulkner and the gang are doing handstands.
Oh, 100%. And like you said, the season is flying by. It seems like last week we were in the weight room at 6 a.m. getting after it. And now there's 5 games left in the regular season. Holy moly. But we hosted our inaugural spring break tournament, which we had local teams for the first year holding it. It was a good turnout. It was competitive games. And it was a good turnout. We did end up winning that. And then right after, 4 days later, got on a plane and went to North Carolina to play. And you said it. And it's the high school baseball tournament of them all. If you're invited to go play in the NHSI, you've got some boys on your team, and you're going to be playing some competitive baseball games against some competitive baseball teams, no doubt.
And the pitching in that series for Venice, I just saw a lot of the scores and a lot of the line scores. The pitching is where Craig Faulkner likes it. You said 5 games left in the regular season. At this point, he's setting himself up for district run and then obviously into the state playoffs.
100%. And that's why we play such a tough schedule, is to get ready for the playoffs. And like you said about the pitching, this is now if you know anything about Venice High School baseball, we've had some guys on the mound. Orion Kirkring, who's the Phillies pitcher, Danny Rodriguez, Cooper Hammond was 6'8", scraping the 2 inches from the ground, throwing about 90. Okay. This pitching staff we have this year is the best pitching staff that we've ever had. We legit have a 5-man rotation. I mean, it's impressive. Our ace, Carter Cox, he's our lefty. Our senior, he's our senior lefty, and he's about 90, but he's got 5 other pitches he can throw for strikes.
Holy cow!
Every time he's pitching, the stands are loaded with scouts, MLB scouts.
Mhm.
He is the real deal. And then we've got our junior Cason Poplin going to Liberty. He's touching 90 as well. He's got 2 or 3, 4 pitches. Then younger brother Cohen Poplin, who's a sophomore, he's I would say our third guy right now. He's throwing 93, 94. So little brother is throwing harder than big brother. But little brother's got a little bit more command. That's why he's the second. That's why he's the second guy. But Cohen, in this tournament, he made the all-tournament team. He went, I want to say, he went 7 innings and 94 pitches, and shut down a really good team from Tennessee. And then we've got a freshman, Mac Carey. He's throwing 90, 91 as well with the best changeup. I mean, it is a wipeout changeup. And then we've got RJ Shields, who's throwing 95 to 96. And I like to call he's effectively wild. He might throw one at your head, and then the next pitch he's gonna paint the outside corner. So
he's the reason why I had to quit baseball, because I'd be the guy diving as soon as the ball was effectively hitting towards my head.
Right. So it's those. And then we have out of the bullpen, we'll bring in Aiden Carey, who's one of our side armors. Venice always has a side armor. So
Yes.
Aiden Carey is our side armor this year. And he's throwing 85, 86 with a wipeout slider. And that's why I think going into the tournament, we'd only given up, I don't know, maybe 10 runs, all year. It's because of those guys. I mean, if we score 1 or 2 runs, if our offense score 1 or 2 runs, we're looking real good.
Cox, you mentioned him. You didn't mention a college. Is he going to get drafted in June?
He's going to FAU. He's committed to FAU.
Oh, okay. All right.
Word on the street is the Tigers really like him. The Tigers think he can pitch in the MLB one day.
Okay.
The thing about Cox is he's about 5'11", 6 foot, so he doesn't fit the projectability per se. But they may take him early round, but not give him early round money. And then he just has to make the decision whether he wants to go to FAU or does he want to go play professional baseball.
Yeah, that's an interesting question because I think sometimes the 3 years in college can sort of season you. I'd asked a long time ago, what is college baseball? How does it reflect to how it compares to the minor leagues? And they said it's like AA baseball. And when you go to college, so you're playing AA ball, and a lot of guys can turn from college and maybe make a quicker move up the ladder into AA, AAA kind of scenario. But I guess it all depends on the player.
100%. And like I would say, if you're playing in the SEC, the ACC, I would say really that's it. If you're in the SEC or ACC in college, that is AA baseball.
Right.
So if you go 3 years there, I'll use my good friend Merrick Houston. Merrick Houston just got drafted first round by the Twins, 16th overall.
Wow.
He went to Wake Forest for 3 years, and it definitely gave him a head start. He's starting the year in high A this year. So it really just depends on where you're going to play baseball.
And how much of that is him going from a metal bat to a wooden bat?
Merrick? Yeah. I think when you're that good and you're that athletic, I don't think it really makes a difference. Like maybe because for travel ball, when you're playing in the really good travel ball tournaments, those are all wood bat tournaments.
Okay.
So you're swinging wood bats at 14 years old already.
Wow.
So
yeah, I mean you have to learn and start somewhere. That's for sure. You don't want to be too far behind.
100%. And I didn't even touch on my bad. I didn't even touch on our lineup.
That's where I was going next. We were
sorry.
talking pitching. Scored some runs too in this tournament. I know from doing games for a year for Coach Faulkner and watching the program, like you said, runs are at a premium a lot. They manufacture runs a lot and then rely a lot on the pitching. But I I see bigger run totals this year than even I'm used to.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Venice baseball. There's always we're gonna bunt the ball. 100%.
Yeah.
We're gonna bunt the ball. We're gonna make you play old school baseball. Coach Faulkner played for Skip Bertman at LSU. Now LSU was a big time old school baseball guy. We're gonna steal bases. We're gonna bunt the ball. We're gonna make you make plays. Our lineup this year is a little different, similar to last year. It's almost like the term they use is like gorilla ball. It's they're just mashing. These kids are just they're hitters, man. They hit. Our leadoff guy, August Backman, our right fielder, he gets into pitch sometimes. He just committed to Florida. He's a lefty. He rakes. Our second baseman, Graham Houston, who is Merrick Houston's younger brother, he's our shortstop. He's going to LSU. Our catcher, Jonathan Morrow, he's going to Cornell. If he wanted to go SEC, he could go SEC.
Right,
He's got the brains.
He got an Ivy League education. There you go.
He's going to Cornell. 4-hole, I don't even know. Faulkner likes to switch the lineup too.
Yeah.
1 through 3, those guys are there. Day in, day out, those guys are hitting 1 through 3. And then 4-hole, I mean, we got Bo Daniels, a transfer this year. He's a junior. I think he's going to be going to Northwestern.
Okay.
Another terrible academic school. Horrible.
These are hard schools to get into.
Right.
Friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And then Carter Cox is also a hitter. He's our center fielder. He does what he holds his weight at the plate too. And then we got RJ Shields, who I mentioned, who pitches as well. He hits. He's going to Mississippi State. I didn't mention that earlier. He's going to Mississippi State. I'm missing somebody. We got Cohen Poplin also bats. He holds his own. Maddox Volk has found himself in the lineup. He got his chance and he took it, man. He's hitting the ball really well, and that's how you stay in the lineup with
Right.
Coach Faulkner. If he gives you your chance and you make the most of it, you're going to find yourself in the lineup again. So what I'm trying to say is 1 through 9. There's no easy. Okay, this guy's up. We can get an out here. I got to have full focus, full intensity. I got to make the best pitch. Otherwise, damage could happen here.
Jeff, I've got a question for you.
Yep.
You've been a part of Venice High School football broadcasting and doing some stuff for about 4 years now, I'd say.
4 years.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And you've seen where with Venice football is that, what Coach Peacock did probably in about year 2014 or so, he went to a tempo offense. And you can really look at that one move right there as him sort of setting himself into a different category in regards to what Venice was doing on the field. The other teams can't keep up with it. They have a real hard time with it. Comparably speaking, the submarine pitcher, like you mentioned earlier, is that Coach Faulkner's hurry-up offense that all of a sudden something that nobody else is doing, and now it's become sort of a staple because I know you've got some great pitchers, but that one I can't imagine if you name it where I'm from, if I'm local or I'm playing in the first run of the playoffs or whatever, and here comes somebody who's throwing from the ball's coming up at me, a la softball, and I've got to figure out if it's a fastball, a curveball, or whatever the heck else it is. That's got to be so intimidating. It's such a stopper when things are getting a little shaky.
100%. I believe Faulkner's first year as the head coach was 1999.
It was. Yeah.
I think every year since 1999, they've had a guy that has thrown sidearm.
Yeah.
And to your point, you just don't see him often.
Right.
Bases loaded, no outs. He is bringing in the sidearm guy because
Right.
he's funky. He's trying to get a rollover. Like I just said, you haven't seen it, so you're like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do here?
Right.
So yeah, I would say it is almost like the tempo offense. You bring in the sidearm guy, and your chances of getting out of your situation just raised.
It's
undoubtedly.
The comparison is just it's an exotic move. It's like something that you don't see other teams doing. You can't just go tell somebody next year, hey, you're going to be a side armor. You just can't do that.
No.
Just like you can't say, hey, you know what? We're going to run tempo against Venice or whatever it may. They have to go the opposite way. And they have to slow it down. They can't speed it up because to keep up. And if you get to the point where the train starts going with that, you can't stop it. And in the same token, if you walk up and that guy is throwing underhand basically, and your guy stepping up and he's like, I got nothing for this. It emanates with the whole team.
Right. What makes it so deceptive and hard to hit is the ball. The pitcher is basically releasing the ball behind you.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to figure out, is he throwing a fastball here where it's gonna stay inside? Or is he throwing a wipeout slider where by the time I decide to swing the bat, it's in the other batter's box?
Yeah.
That's what makes them so tough to hit.
And, of course, the Frisbee, my favorite pitch.
The Frisbee.
Yeah, no, I'm serious, because you think it's going to be a fastball, and it takes a month to get there. Seriously, it's and high school kids are not used to seeing this, and I think that's a big thing you bring up, Jeffrey. All right, so go ahead. The team is.
Sorry,
no,
I was just going to say, when we got these guys throwing 90, 91, 92, and then you bring in this guy who's got a 68-mile-an-hour slider, it's unfair almost.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, you said 5 games left in the regular season. Has the seeding for the district tournament been determined, or do we still have some games coming up here in the next week or two that could affect the seeding?
How the seeding has not been determined yet. How the FHSA does the seeding is by your overall record. So it's different other than football. In football, you have to play your district opponents during the regular season. That's how they determine the district championship, obviously, because football doesn't have a district tournament.
Right.
In baseball, you don't have to play your district opponents until the district tournament. So Venice, we'll play Sarasota and Riverview, but we don't play Northport and we don't play Lehigh. Okay. So when everyone plays their however many games in, like you got to play the games by this date, then the FHSA will have their bracket release show, and then you play whoever the one seed in our class gets the bye just because there's an odd number of teams, and then you just play whoever you get paired up with.
Well, there you go.
Doing things. It's very similar to basketball.
100%.
Similar to basketball.
100%.
So, I don't know how. I and that sometimes works for you and sometimes works against you, because of this kind of schedule that Venice plays. They run into a couple of really good teams. Say Jesuits really good, say Plant's really good. Just naming a couple of teams from the Tampa area that I used to know. Somebody from the South, and you're, say, I don't know, 15-8 for some reason. Yep. Even though you're probably clearly the best team in your district, you end up getting a seed that isn't, and you've got to work your way through it. I don't know, man. The FHSA drives me crazy. I'm sorry. It does.
And the FHSA doesn't really take strength of schedule as highly as Max Preps does.
Yeah, I was going to say that's complete opposite of football. Yeah. Okay.
No, we could be 15-8. And I'll just pick on Sarasota because us Venice people like to pick on Sarasota. Sarasota could be 21-4, but have a strength of schedule of 5, but that doesn't matter. They're gonna be the 1 seed.
Right.
Yeah, they're gonna be the 1 seed. So, when Coach Faulkner and Coach Chambord are making the schedule, it's that kind of balancing act they have to go through.
One more quick question for you, buddy. Every year I think Coach Faulkner it's sort of a theme for the year, or I think it's a motto, or what he does some things on those ways. How much does last year's, I guess, with earlier exit from the playoffs, how much fuel has that put in everybody's fire as far as this year is concerned?
It is undoubtedly the fuel and our motto this year. Our motto this year is break the barrier. We have lost in the regional finals the last 2 years. Last year was absolutely heartbreaking.
Yeah,
I tell people we got Babe Ruth was reincarnated. I believe that kid hit 4 home runs against us in a 3-game series. It was incredible to watch.
And it was clutch. He was hitting it in clutch times. Crazy.
I mean, 3-run home runs, grand slam. It was just, what is going on? But yeah, our theme this year is break the barrier. The barrier being the regional championship.
I put you in the game right there. Yeah, no doubt.
All right.
And can I say something real quick about the how they do regionals? So regionals last year, Florida finally made the switch. Thank goodness, to where regionals is a 3-game series. Okay. So starting in round 1 in regionals, it was 3-game series, 3-game series, 3-game series. And this year they kept the 3-game series, except for the first round of regionals. The first round of regionals is you win or you're going home.
Wow.
Which is kind of scary.
Yeah.
Because we just like football, we look ahead. Oh, okay, we could be playing these guys. Blah blah blah. This guy's got a guy that's throwing 97. If we face him in the first round, it's gonna be a dogfight.
Right.
And that's the thing about baseball. The 1-game series really don't show who the best baseball team is. So when they went to the 3-game series, I can't think of a team that wouldn't want that.
Right. And I'll tell you this, Jeffrey. Back in the day, Venice High School had a lot of good baseball teams, and they would get out with 1 game. They'd face the guy. Oh, who are you playing? Oh, we're playing a team that's just saying 12-12.
Right.
Okay. But you know what? They've won the 12 games they've won. The one guy is 12-0. He throws a 98, and he's a gorilla on the mound.
Yep.
But they're going to put him against they want to advance. Or in this case, hey, we drew Venice. We're going to put our best guy out there. Everybody, no one's saving a pitcher against Venice. They're going to throw the best guy out there, and you got to look around and say to yourself, okay, who do we get, and who's their best guy, and what's going to happen with this? Where in your case, you can throw 4 guys out there and probably be okay. Any of 4, but that would be that's not the case. It's usually 1 guy, and he's like, who is he? Oh yeah, he's going to be drafted, or he's this, and he's
going first round.
Yeah. So
we'll see. It makes it exciting. I'll say.
Oh,
that.
there's no doubt about that. Absolutely does.
I got to ask, guys, because you're down there and I'm up here in Massachusetts. What was the reason for the change? What was the reason? Are we going too late? I mean, was the championships later than mid to late May, or what was the reasoning behind? Not that the FHSAA ever needs reasoning, because they just do whatever the heck they want anyway.
Yeah.
I was just about to say that. We have no idea why the FHSAA did what they did.
Okay.
They told all the coaches last year, we're going to try this out and let's see how it goes. So I don't know if teams were complaining or whatnot, or maybe the first round of regionals last year was just 2-0 every series in every classification. I don't know, but not this year. So to answer your question, I have no idea why they did what they did.
Well, I could take probably an educated guess on it, because this is what their philosophy has been, or attempted to be, over the last, let's say, 10 years. They're trying to give everybody a chance to win. Okay, going back to the when they had the rural and the whatever the urban whatever thing they were doing, right? All that stuff. It was some poor team out in the middle of the state can't win anything because they're a 3A school and they're always playing against St. Thomas Aquinas or this team or that team. Now you tell some team, hey, all you need to do is roll out. You could be the 6th seed, but roll out a great guy, and you can still win your region. And I think that's what that's their plan, because that's always been that there's about some sort of equity, but it's not equity. It's you're giving people like you're trying to give them like a little bit of a nudge or a push or whatever it may be. When in actuality there should be. If you're the best team, nobody ever complained on any. I don't care if it's Venice baseball, Venice football, Venice softball. Nobody's ever complained and said, "Well, damn it, we shouldn't have been playing the best team." No, we say they were the best team and they beat us that day. What we don't want to do is have some sort of made up thing where you're gonna give this poor little guy a chance to win a game. It doesn't make any sense. And they'll have the effect's going to be like, wow, what happened to them? How did they lose? Or what happened with that situation? And that becomes a travesty at that point.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Jeffrey, we certainly do appreciate it. You going to
Yes,
hang
sir.
with us?
I'll hang with you. Let's roll.
All right.
Beautiful.
All right. So the 941 Sports Zone, I forgot to do this at the beginning. Terribly sorry, but we'll have an extra segment presented by Mighty Dog Roofing of Southwest Florida, locally owned and nationally backed, delivering exceptional roofing for homes and businesses throughout the Gulf Coast. 941-251-4257. 941-251-4257. Well, guys, the Final Four is set. The best game was the last in the Elite Eight as UConn made an incredible comeback from 19 down in the first half and 15 down at the first media timeout of the second half to win 73-72 over Duke to advance to their third Final Four in 4 years. This one, obviously, the most improbable. John, they got off to a nice start against Michigan State, but with about 3 minutes to go in that game, I thought they were in deep trouble. They were actually behind, but they managed to get through that Sweet 16 game. And then Sunday was just an unbelievable game. And again, you and I kind of talked about this before the show, the difference between having guys that are playing in their first year or their second year, as opposed to UConn, a very seasoned team. They never panicked.
No, they never did. Obviously, with my lock of the week last week, I did not expect to see UConn in that game at all. I had them losing to Michigan State. I just thought that they didn't. Not that they weren't a good team, but they sort of floundered a bit at the end of the season. They didn't quite. St. John's put it to them twice. I thought they were going to be a tough, an easier out than they ended up being. With that being the case, from that game, obviously, the 40-foot buzzer beater from the logo after just a terrible inbounds situation that actually, you shouldn't say it worked out perfectly. But there was an extra pass that didn't need to be made. He could have stood right there, burned 2 more seconds, and shot free throws and ended the game. But the thing to look back on is that the stat that stuck out the most: 134-0. That was how many teams in that with a 15 or better point lead in the going at halftime had lost the game in the final
as the one seed.
So 134-0 now is 134-1. And sometimes I think if I'm going to be all about jinxing stuff, when have you ever heard that stat until the other day? And they mention it and it's gone. It's the 134-1, just like that. So
Jeffrey,
that was the best game. Yeah.
Jeffrey, I saw you shaking your head. And again, it's just one of those situations. And now it's 2 years in a row for Duke, because they had a 6-point lead with about a minute left against Houston last year in the national semis and ended up losing that game. And now there's whispers, Jon Scheyer, is there something that he needs to do better, or is this just a case of circumstance? What do you think?
There's no doubt that Duke has had the guys. You go back in the history, they've had Zion, they've had RJ Barrett, they've had that Jared McClain, or I think his name was. So they have the talent. Undoubtedly, they have the talent. They just can't figure it out how to get it done. And I was listening to your podcast last week, and you guys were talking about coaches and coaches that know how to get it done, how to motivate their guys. That is Dan Hurley.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
That cat undeniably knows how to get it done. He's an old school coach. I can only imagine what was said at halftime when they were down a gazillion points. And obviously it worked. So
he's got the magic potion right now. The two natties are great, but then to sort of come back, lose to the eventual national champion last year, and then back to the Final Four this year, with a different cast of characters for the most part. And he is right now. I think he is the guy in the NCAA right now. He is definitely the guy. And Jon Scheyer, following Coach K, we said it was going to be a tough road to toe, right?
And I thought he was doing a good job. Yeah.
It took Coach K a while to win a natty, but the program is in a different spot now than when Coach K took over, right? So you got to look at it from that perspective too. I think patience will be the thing. I think the next recruiting class is going to be interesting for him because he's going to lose his best player to the pros, probably two of his best players to the pros, I would imagine. And it's a reload scenario for him. So it's going to be interesting to see how he recovers. One thing I will say, ACC basketball along with ACC football is not quite where it was before. Football more than that. So I think Duke, again, not trying to downplay how good Duke is, but Carolina's starting over with their coaching situation. Who's the third best team in the ACC? Can you wrap your head around Clemson, Louisville, all those?
Miami was the 3 seed in the tournament.
Miami was the 3 seed, so that's what I was trying to get at there. So Miami actually was the 3 seed. None of the Blue Bloods were in there, so that situation. So and the Wake Forest and the Georgia Techs, the NC States have really floundered in some ways. NC State was a little bit. They were playing game, right, if I'm not mistaken. But that's
yes.
You didn't see that before, so a little bit of that's got to be something to consider. Maybe they're not playing that really rough schedule coming into to be ready for it. I know I think that's part of what Florida did because even the SEC was a little bit iffy this year. You know what I mean? Arkansas played well in spots and whatnot. The Big Ten and the Big 12, but the Big Ten probably way up as far as the best league, and the Big 12 now probably a close second.
Yeah, and that's why Duke plays the kind of schedule they do before the conference season starts. My apologies. They play everybody and anybody. They played, the Michigan game I was in Florida, so that was mid-February.
Yeah.
On the floor, which turned out to be the same floor that they played the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 at in DC. So they had everything right exactly as the way they wanted it. But there's no, of the Sweet 16, there was one ACC team. And that's got to improve. If you're the ACC, you have got to get that to be better. I don't think there's any question about it. And, you got some new guys coming in. You have new blood at North Carolina. Will Wade decided to go back to LSU. God, we can have an entire podcast over that.
That is nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, what I did back in 22 is actually okay to do now. So I'm going to go back, and I have a good relationship with the governor. Apparently that's what you need at LSU, but I digress. You're right. It's if you're North Carolina, all right, you should clearly be the second best team. I mean, and obviously Duke is the target, and they're not. And who are they going to get? It sounds like they're going to go outside the family. How's that going to go over? What if he goes 20-12 next year? They're going to look for somebody else because
he's not a Dean Smith man, right?
No,
it's going to be something along those lines. So who knows?
Jeffrey, I see you. I see you shaking your head.
It's kind of like how college sports is nowadays. If the head coach doesn't do good, I mean, they don't even maybe give him 2 years. If he doesn't do something in 2 years, they're looking for the next guy.
Yep.
I feel like they don't give coaches enough time to actually establish a program and a culture. But at the same time, when you accept a job at Duke or North Carolina or Kentucky, there are expectations that when you walk in that door, you're going to win right now.
Right.
And those fans don't like losing.
No, they don't. Mark Pope is on the proverbial hot seat. He's getting a third year, but if he finishes the way he did this year, he ain't getting a fourth year.
He won't get halfway through it if that's the case.
Right.
They'll have somebody quick. Little sidebar here, Rich. I'm just kind of thinking about this. I saw it clearly coming earlier in the year, but LSU is putting together a coaching. I would put it. How to put this consortium or whatever it may be of some of the people that you would not want to have your wallet hanging out of your back pocket. You've got Lane Kiffin,
Oh, yeah.
who's an absolute. I mean, everybody's like, "Oh, you're going to get Lane Kiffin in Florida." I'm like, I don't want Lane Kiffin. I told every Ole Miss person, said, "Hotty toddy, how about Lane Kiffin?" I'm like, keep his ass. I don't want him. Right? He's a snake in the grass. You got Wade. I mean, that's not even a snake in the grass. He's Beelzebub. All right. Kim Mulkey, I wouldn't want to see her in a damn alleyway. That she would glow in the dark with her outfit she wears. But nonetheless, I wouldn't want any part of anything. Those coaches are dirty, to say the least. I mean, they don't pull a punch. They're like they're out of it, you know. So I guess it's like what's his face, Adam Sandler from what's his name? What was the movie when he was the football player from Louisiana?
Waterboy?
The Waterboy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it is down there now. It's real.
And you need wheelbarrows of money. All three of them are making huge bucks.
And the baseball team kicks ass. And I think they're the cleanest program out there that they have, at least. Softball's good. I mean, they're putting together. They're not shy about who they're hiring. I can promise you that for sure.
And there apparently is endless pockets as well. And they're paying. What's the buyouts they're paying between Brian Kelly, the old AD? I mean, they are paying money for people not to work. Like
they bragged about saying, "Don't worry about it. We'll find the money." You know,
that's right. Under the couch cushions.
They're going to murder somebody for some money. I don't know what they're going to do.
Whoa! All right. Let's get into the other three teams. Illinois. The first game on Saturday, very strong second half. Iowa's dream season came to a halt, 71-59. Listen, Illinois, you and I talked about it. We both thought they would beat Houston, and they did.
Yeah.
They're a very good team. They played a very representative out-of-conference schedule. They did stumble down the stretch. I remember Michigan going to Champaign and clinching the Big Ten regular season title. And I remember saying after that game, Illinois is starting to go the wrong way. They ended up 6-5 before the tournament at the end of the regular season and in the Big Ten tournament, and they've really turned it on. Let's give Brad Underwood some credit. He's got them playing tremendous basketball right now, and they're going to take on UConn. And I was shocked when I went to the lines, because obviously we're going to do our locks of the week later. Illinois is actually favored in that game over UConn. That is a little bit of a surprise to some. Obviously not to you, John. You just shook your head.
No, I mean, I was looking to see, because that will be the game I'll pick for my lock of the week, is to put it out there right now, because I wanted to see what Vegas was thinking, and obviously Vegas is sort of thinking that Illinois is that team. They got the Eastern European All-Stars on their team.
Yes.
and they've got, everybody with the name that ends with an IC. So but they've got some players, man, and they can really, they look polished. Even the two young guys, where they look very polished as all around basketball players, guys who can get to the rack and score it down deep, and then do a step back three and shoot it like it's no tomorrow. So very good team. I think Brett Underwood has probably done the best coaching job. Dan Hurley, I got to give him his due for what happened the other day, but overall, through the tournament, Illinois has been pretty steady, and they've shown the ability that, look, at this point, Rich, I wouldn't put it. I don't think there's all four teams, to me, have a legitimate shot to win it. I would not be surprised if any of them won this tournament at this point.
Yeah, this is what we hope for with the NIL, and with everybody's like, the underdog. We don't have the underdog. Well, I think we have the four best teams. I don't think there's any question about that. And Michigan certainly put their stamp early on Sunday. Man, they ended that game in the first 10 minutes. Tennessee was never going to get back in that game. They were severely outclassed. 3 straight Elite Eights, but they can't break through. Rick Barnes, let's give him credit where credit's due, because I'm one of those that thinks that they're usually an early exit, but 3 straight Elite Eights is pretty good. But you get smoked by Michigan. They're back to the drawing board again in Knoxville.
Yeah.
Well, even when Michigan played Alabama, I mean, Alabama came out and it was like a track meet. It was run down the court, throw up a three, bang, and Michigan withstood that.
Yeah,
We've seen teams not be able to hang with Alabama while they're running cross country meets around the court. So I don't know. Michigan's really good. They're playing really good ball right now.
Yeah, and Jeffrey, Arizona, when they've got they put out 8 guys that are studs. Like Rich, we talked about this. What the game was the game, the last game before last, 7 guys with 14 points or more. You can go down low. You got 2 guards, and guard play is everything. And I think I'm not going to say that the Duke's guards fell apart in the game, but there was a lot to do with that. You have to when Boozer, the big Boozer, has to play point guard. You really don't have a point guard at that point. You've got you don't have a guy who can distribute. And really, he's a penetrate and kick guy, and the guys that were there to make shots just weren't making them. And it wasn't like, and they have the 2 kids, Seven and Evans and Dar or whatever, Sar, whatever his name is. I've seen them get hot, but they couldn't get them the ball, and the ball in the hands of the other 2 guards. It was just not going to happen.
No. So, what a titanic battle of the 1 seeds in the second game on Saturday. Michigan's favored by 1.5 over Arizona. I'm salivating at that. I think Arizona, listen, I'm not going to take anything away from Michigan. They have been tremendous. Dusty May has done an unbelievable job. They were the best of the hardest league, but the Big 12 was the second hardest league, and Arizona was clearly the best of that. And I think Arizona has 1 or 2 more dudes than Michigan. I like Arizona in that second game.
I think polished basketball players like we talked about. Michigan can run guys out there. The kid Mara, the big tall 7'3" guy, he's got some skills, but I think he can be. I think Arizona can knock him off his mark a bit. And again, the kid Yaxel, I can't even say his last name. It's such a hard last name, Lewinberg or whatever his name.
I know you're talking.
But everybody calls him Yaxel. That's his first name. But I don't know if they have 7 guys that can go for 14 points. So if Yaxel gets in foul trouble, Michigan loses 50% of their output, maybe in a half, and that could be a difference maker. So if you're Arizona, maybe coach is saying, go at him hard, try to draw fouls. Let's get these guys in some trouble here, and then they won't have such a deep bench. He can try it out the water boy if he wants to, but that doesn't make him a basketball player. You know what I mean? Right. So he's got to have guys that can stay with him. And Arizona, they go 8, maybe 9, and they just the depth is I think Michigan's depth, because of the way he substitutes, is more looked at and well known. But the depth that you see Arizona, it looks like an NBA team to me when they come out, because the guy who's the 8th guy coming, the 3rd guy off the bench in the NBA is a damn good shooter, or he might be a guy you put in right away. In this case, it's the same thing for Arizona.
All right, Jeffrey, who you got in the national championship game?
I think
put me on the spot.
I think UConn's going to do it.
All right, UConn and against who? Michigan, Arizona.
I think it's going to be Michigan, fellas.
Okay.
All right. So UConn and Michigan. And
none of that surprises me one bit. I would be happy to have that as the game. It'd be great.
There is not a bad game out of the 4.
No, 100%.
Put it together.
I'm just falling back on the coaching. I think the coaching is,
and you can't go wrong there. Seriously, you can't go wrong. He's done his best job this year of the previous 4.
And I'll tell you this. That everybody, you're talking about that the Michigan game, Michigan Arizona game. It sets up as a classic, and it should be a classic. I believe that. But that UConn Illinois game, that's going to be a basketball fan. Real basketball fan's going to love that game, because those 2 coaches are going to be knock to knock. You make a move, I make a move. That's going to be a very strategic game right there. And they've got players similarly in kind of put together. A young freshman kind of guy who can shoot a little bit, some guys down low that are role players that can make plays. I like that. I think that game could be based on the matchups, one of the best Final Four Saturdays you've seen in a long time.
No question. All right. So Jeffrey says UConn beats Michigan in the championship game. Did I catch that right?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
All right. John?
Well, I'm going to give something away, but I have UConn, Arizona in the Final Four, and I'm going to say Arizona wins it all.
All right. I have Arizona and Illinois. I guess I'm the lone wolf taking Illinois, and I think Arizona wins the Natty. So,
all right.
Couple other things before we finish up college basketball. Rick Pitino got paid, boys. He got paid. This is going to be his final job. He's going to be 71 next year. By the way, he still looks like he's 55 on the sidelines. And everybody's dressed just like him. It's kind of funny, but he'll go out and get a couple of shooters. I can promise you that. They're going to spend their money on shooters. They had too many dry spells this year. And they are, by the way, the two-time defending. We're talking about UConn possibly winning the national championship. They are the two-time defending Big East champions, both regular season and in the tournament. So
I keep on thinking of Rick Pitino in New York is going to get paid. Now, I want to see the Booster Club in Queens for St. John's and see where that money actually is coming from. You know what I mean?
Well, there's a guy that sits right behind him on the bench. That's where the money's coming from.
Okay.
He's got a guy that's got some serious money. Serious.
Is it Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro sitting behind him?
No. I don't know what his name is, but they know what his name
got a
is.
Little gravy going, getting cooked in the back with some bread to dip it in. That's what I'm saying, man.
I thought by the way,
must be good.
One other thing, I thought USF made an excellent hire with Chris Mack, formerly of Louisville and Xavier. Boy, I'll tell you what, Rob Higgins can flat out. I mean, all right. So you lose your coach Hodgson to Providence, and you think he's going to go get maybe somebody who's a little younger with a little less experience. No, he convinces Chris Mack, who's at the College of Charleston, who's a one bid league, and the Americans a one big league. Although a lot of people think maybe Memphis gets better, might be a two-bid league. But also I think, and John, you and I talked about this, and we've talked about it all year long, USF's going places. And I mean, not in the American.
Right. It's got to be the ACC at some point in time.
I agree.
So, Jeffrey, I'm going to tee this up for you.
Right.
I want your opinion on this. First and foremost, Alex Golesh did a fantastic job, earned a spot for Auburn. They got a better coach in Brian Hartline. Brian Hartline is the reason why Ohio State has every best receiver in the country playing there. Okay, so from a recruiting perspective, he makes them so legitimate in the recruiting. In the recruiting side of it, he's unbelievable. And now you go from a one year guy or whatever long he was there.
1 year.
Chris Mack. That is an unbelievable upgrade. I'm sorry, no offense to the Coach Hodgson, whatever how you pronounce his name, but that's unbelievable. What do you think, Jeff?
No, Golesh. He came in. I think they went 0-12 before he took over. I think the year before I had to sit through an 0-12 year. Okay, and that was some really bad football. I mean, really bad football. There was more stands at Venice High School football games. More people there than at these USF games. Golesh comes in, does what he does, runs a tempo offense. I have at the college level. I have my thoughts about that.
Right.
But like you said about Hartline, man, that is probably I want to say that's probably top 3 coaching hires throughout all of college football last year.
Best hire of the year by far, because for USF to get him, that's a huge get. That's huge, and he'll be there probably because it's his first head coaching experience. He'll gonna give you three. I would say to him, please get us to the stadium.
Yeah, right.
We want you there for whatever it may be. Put the money out there to get him to stay. And get us to the ACC. That's what I would be.
And like you said, that guy is known for recruiting, and it's a known fact. Florida, and Georgia, and California. But since that guy is going to be in Florida, if he can keep the talent that is here in Florida, he has a chance to put USF on the map. And I don't know if you fellows looked at USF's schedule this year. If they don't go 12-0, it's like it's going to be a travesty.
Right.
It is cupcake central for USF this year.
Really?
100%. If you go take a look at the schedule after this, I mean, it's I think they dropped out. I think Alabama maybe dropped out or something like that. Some big SEC
was somebody who did drop out. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
And then I think we replaced them with Kent State.
Oof. The worst of the MAC. Holy crap.
So, but it all comes down to the athletic director. That guy goes out and gets. I think USF just got like the women's head coach maybe
at Alabama.
Alabama head coach. What a hire that was.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that. Listen, Tampa's a great place to live. Let's face facts. Look at the Lightning. They have been able to. I'm not saying it's only the sunshine that the Lightning do really well. They have a great coach as well. But when you combine everything all together, and you can be in Tampa, great place to live in the state of Florida, no state income taxes, you name all the advantages of people that all these people coming here. Why would you not? It's a great. And I think the only thing they missing was on campus football. Now they got it, and it's going to explode. Just look at UCF. What a difference UCF. They got so far ahead of USF because of the stadium. The experience with people say, "Oh my God, what a great way to what a great tailgate scenario at UCF." It's going to be there at USF the same way now. In some ways, it's going to make it all different, all better on campus. It's going to change everything. I am the example of what happens with USF. USF, smaller school. My age group, we didn't think of it. USF didn't even have football. That's why I'm a Gator fan. UCF was a Division II school. I was at UCF going to school. I'm a Gator fan, right? I put all my money into that situation, but I put money into UCF because they've also done some things that have been pretty outstanding. Not a fan of giving yourself a national championship, by the way, but that's sort of embarrassing. But the thing is, now you're going to have people who are Gator boosters in Tampa who are going to say, we need to go to some USF games. We need to put some money into USF because now it's on campus. Now it's better. It's not trying to run across Dale Mabry to make it to the game on time. That's like crazy. Now you can actually just walk up and just walk in when you want to walk in, and somebody's tailgating. There's a barbecue going on. It's going to make the whole experience way different on campus. Everything is going to be great.
And the stadium itself, it's not Penn State. They're not building 100,000.
No, they don't need to do that.
I think it's like 30,000 people or something.
That's it. You know how cool 30,000 is? How loud it gets in one single bowl? Perfect. It's phenomenal. UCF is one bowl. That thing is awesome. And then we don't have. Let's say you're playing, a Kent State or whatever, and it's 1,000,000 degrees at 4:00 on a September. Maybe you don't get everybody there. It doesn't look like a big ass empty stadium. It looks like it's normal to have 15,000, 20,000. So it makes it's a much better deal. Looks going to look great. It's going to look great.
Now, guys, they put Kent State as homecoming, as they should.
Oh, that's good.
By the way, I'm looking at the schedule and I see exactly what you mean. Their toughest game could be their second game at Army. They don't have Navy on the schedule, which is rather shocking. So that could actually be their toughest game if Navy and them, get to the American Championship game. That should be very, very interesting. All right. 941 Sports Zone, episode 32. Jeffrey Fulcher, our special guest, presented by Mighty Dog Roofing of Southwest Florida. 941-251-4257. 941-251-4257. They're locally owned, but they have national backing, and they go up and down the Gulf Coast getting that roofing. And again, hurricane season is 2 months away. I hate to say it, but if you've got you got a little bit of damage from last year or two, get that taken care of before, it could be a pretty active season. So 941-251-4257. Mighty Dog Roofing of Southwest Florida. All right. Probably the coolest story of the weekend, at least it was for me, guys, was a golf tournament that usually just gets completely ignored. It's every year. It's 2 weeks before the Masters.
Yeah, it's a shitty
part
golf
of the Texas thing.
It's a bad TV golf course to watch. It just looks like it looks like that they're playing at Sarasota National because it's just scraped earth. And I mean, I know it's a nice course. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like there's no texture to it. There's no whatever. So Houston Open.
I guess I'm never gonna play golf in Houston. Thanks, John. Really
I mean, it's like
anyway.
I play the course. It's a nice course, but not for TV. Doesn't look.
Okay.
Some of the courses you look at, it's like they got something to them. Not that's like it looks like just like, hey, we threw some flags up and we mowed the cow patty. So we're good to go. Does not look good.
Have a little later podcast. We got a little saltier John Final Four Missoni. Well, the cool story was Gary Woodland. And if you don't know, we'll get you caught up. Gary Woodland won the 2019 U.S. Open. And then obviously COVID hit and he started to struggle a little bit, 21, 22. Something was wrong physically. Saw a doctor. Turns out he had brain cancer. Had to have surgery in 2023. 30 months ago. Fast forward to 2 weeks ago. He's been playing pretty decent, but he's had a round in each of his last few tournaments where things have kind of gone sideways a little bit. He does an interview with the Golf Channel and basically comes out and says he's suffering from PTSD. It's still fresh in his mind. A lot of times he has to call the tour people over. He did it again on Sunday, getting a little too close to him. He gets a little nervous.
Yeah.
He's such a great story and he's doing well in this tournament. But on Saturday, Nikolai Holgar gets to within a shot of him. And John, what did we talk about last week? Nobody's been closing tournaments at all.
Yeah,
and they've had multiple shot leads this year, 3, 4, 5 shot leads, and they've been blowing it on Sunday. Well, here's Woodland, 1 shot lead. What does he do? He stretches it out. He gets it out to 7.
Yeah.
By midway through the round, basically puts it away and gets the victory. Just a tremendous story for a couple of reasons. First of all, he is the person who took the longest in history of the PGA from his first major to his next win, 7 years. Okay?
Yeah.
2019 U.S. Open till the Houston Open. Also, the cool part to me, and everybody says, well, why do you have these 2 Texas tournaments? Well, guess what? In most cases, you get 2 people that get eligible for the Masters.
Yeah.
Gary Woodland is eligible for the Masters. How friggin' cool is that, John?
Yeah, no, it's phenomenal, and to watch him handle himself classy, and with everything that was going on with him, it was a lot, and he's a very well liked guy on the tour as well.
Absolutely.
And a lot of the players, they support him as much as possible, but then he had this secondary problem with PTSD, and it's a real thing. Everything. Oh, was he at war? No, he was in some way. Yeah, he was battling cancer, and there's a lot to be things that linger with that. And what am I going to get better, or is it going to get worse? Who knows? There's a lot of unknowns to that situation. He handled himself fantastically. He was a college basketball player before he became a golfer, and so he little of that toughness maybe coming from his basketball background, and he's a real athlete playing golf, and probably that may have pushed him through a lot of this stuff to get back as quick as he did get back too, Rich, which was really, astounding to me more than anything that he was able to get better that quick.
Yeah.
Tip of the cap. Played well down the stretch, and again at full game. He's always been a guy who's I wouldn't call him sneaky long, but consistently he's a long hitter, which is why he won the U.S. Open at a beautiful golf course in Pebble Beach.
Yes.
And so he did a fantastic job, and can't say much more than how happy I am as a golf fan to see him put the W up on the board and get a chance to walk around Augusta and maybe who knows, he's got the game for it. He definitely has the game for it, and so I would say if he's coming in hot, he might be something you want to lay down to finish top 10 or better.
Jeffrey, you're an athlete. You're a coach. This is to me. I Friday he was up near the top of the leaderboard, and I was just like, that would be just the most awesome thing if he can somehow see this through. And then he had a 3-shot lead after Friday, and then, like I said, I woke up Sunday morning, I'm like, ooh, 1-shot lead. Is he going to be able to get the horse into the barn? It's just an unbelievable story.
So, I mean, like, I actually didn't know the guy's story until you just told it, and that's just incredible. And what he's going through is just wow. And like, I work at a golf course, okay. And when you said this tournament got overshadowed, I didn't even know it was going on.
Yeah, okay. That's what happens because if Florida swing comes through, we're local, so Valspar is a big deal, and you got the Players Championship, you got Arnold's tournament. There's a lot of stuff going on before it, and then you go to Texas, and it's like, oh, they're in Texas for a while, and even I hate to say this, but sometimes the coverage, there's a B coverage and an A coverage when it comes to golf. They get the B coverage. Right. If it wasn't for Woodland, we would have had a bunch of Scandinavians fighting for the win. It was like, who's the guy with 17 vowels in his name was winning the tournament? Right. You just click, you're off. And in this case, he brought eyes to the Houston Open, and that was good. That was a good deal for sure. And it turned into an A show from a B broadcast, but it ended up being pretty good.
But like you said, though, even though it was overshadowed, I've noticed for my age demographic of guys and even girls, the game of golf is definitely growing.
Mm-hmm.
And I attest it to social media.
Yep,
there's a lot of these social media. There's a lot of these social media influencers who are really growing the game. I think the game is the biggest it's ever been.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys agree with that or not, but
I agree.
I agree because I'll give you something about that. Tiger Woods was like Michael Jordan, but what happened was they didn't try to find another Tiger Woods. They try to figure out how to keep basketball an individual marketing scenario, right? Mm-hmm. And NBA sort of suffered a bit. They just didn't. The Jordan peak never really has been matched. The Tiger peak, he brought all the money, and what happened was while he was whipping everybody's ass in his generation, everybody started playing like Tiger. And it wasn't the Chauncey Uppercrust coming off his daddy's private membership. It was guys who are like, hey, golf is accessible to me. I can play golf as a team. You wear a jersey with numbers on them now. These kids do. I see more kids nowadays, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old at the golf course or at the driving range, don't know how to play golf. And than I've ever seen. So they're definitely developing I would even say this, and Jeffrey, don't get mad at me for saying this, but they are starting to becoming there's baseball's got little league, and they used to rule the spring. Golf is starting to penetrate that more than any other sport. Basketball is not getting any of that demographic, but the younger kids are swinging golf clubs. And it's while you can pay $100,000 a year to play golf in some golf courses, the munis are promoting kids getting out there, and it's really turning into something special. And golf is going to yield a lot of money from this when it's all said and done. A lot of money when it's all said and done.
100%. Like I'll just say this real quick since we're on the golf topic. I work at Welland Park Golf and Country Club, so we're right there by the Braves. So we would Olsen would come out there all the time. Michael Harris would come out there. Yastrzemski was coming out there. And these guys are almost every single day when they were not in the lineup. Those guys were golfing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like you said, John. It's just becoming accessible for the younger folks. And it's just growing. And I'm glad. I'm glad the game of golf is growing.
And I'll say this to you: it's not so much from the TV coverage. Okay, it's from going to live golf tournaments and playing the game. Okay. And playing the game, you can suck and still have a great time. You match against somebody who's your equal, or you can handicap the situation. The game is built for whatever level you're at. You can come out and play golf with me or Rich or anybody else, right. And you can enjoy a round of golf and be competitive with it, even up to your skill level. And so that's the big difference. It's not people that your generation or whatever generation is running home to watch the Houston Open. It's they just left the golf course and they're running home to eat dinner. That's what it is. And then we're seeing more and more of that over time. And golf has made himself very accessible. You know, golf clubs, hey, my golf course costs me $1,200. Well, you're silly because you can go online and go to Callaway pre-owned or whatever, pre-sale, and get a whole set of golf clubs for about $400. Mm-hmm. And so it's not and I have friends of mine say, oh, it's expensive. Not as expensive as having a boat or not as expensive as other stuff like that. You know, that's expensive stuff right there. You go out there and you can run around at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and play $25 and get maybe 18 in if you rush around enough.
Right. With 3 of your buddies.
Absolutely right.
That's right. Absolutely
right. So that's what the generation is figuring out. We can do this. And by the way, social media is blowing up about golf. It is big time. There's no doubt about it. And by the way, they know how to market themselves too, because you know, they're selling how much fun they're having. They're selling how pretty they are and how well they play golf. You know, it's all that stuff. You can't deny all that stuff as well. So it's out there for sure.
Now, on the flip side of the good story of Gary Woodland is somebody that basically exactly. Listen,
it's incredible.
He obviously has a driving problem. He has more money than God. Sorry, God.
Yeah.
And hire a freaking driver.
Oh, my gosh.
And here's the problem, guys. We're kind of doing this half-heartedly. He's going to kill somebody.
Right.
He's eventually going to kill somebody. He's been fortunate that it's just been him that he's been doing damage
not
to.
Dead. It's fortunate he's not dead. And he does. And listen, we can speculate all we want. He has a problem. He's a terrible driver. And whatever. And he's not a drinker. I don't think he's a drinker. I think he has a muscle relaxer or some sort of issue that he doesn't know how to control himself. And I heard everybody's like, get an Uber. And somebody said, he got away from us. We didn't know he left. You know, he just got in the car and went. He was going 100 miles an hour down a road that's about as wide as my dining room table I'm sitting on. and he's like, what do you expect's going to happen? You do know that he is dating a Trump, right?
Yes.
He's dating Don Jr.'s ex-wife.
Yes.
They had to sign a contract that he can't drive her anywhere.
That's correct.
It's like kids, I don't know what happens to him if he does. If he gets he disappears or whatever, but he cannot drive her anywhere. That's how bad it is.
Guys, go ahead, Jeff. Sorry.
I was just gonna say one thing I was thinking about is his son Charlie. I think he's a what, sophomore now? So what is he? 15?
I thought he was a junior because he's committed to Florida State, has he not?
Okay. So he's what, 15, 16, 17 years old, something like that, right?
Yeah.
He's at the age now where you know, if dad was doing this a while ago, the other kids in his class had no idea.
Yeah.
The other kids in the school have no idea. Now dad rolls a truck and the news comes out that he's DUI or whatever it is. He's going to hear about it.
Yeah.
He's going to hear about it at school. Hey, what is Pops doing, man? And Charlie, you know, I honestly feel bad for Charlie too.
Yeah.
Well, think about, you're right about Charlie. And one of the things that, I think Tiger seems to be, I think he tries with his kids, but you know, Charlie's been to a lot of golf tournaments with 5 different mommies. You know what I mean? That's another thing. He's got celebrity girlfriends all the time, or either that or a waitress from the you know, the IHOP
Waffle
or
House.
the Waffle House, right? He's had his mom, who's, you know, she was out there. Then Lindsey Vaughn. You got the one that he had that was hanging out for him the longest. Now he's got Trump's ex daughter-in-law. I mean, that's another thing. Like, you know, dad's trotting out the next girl, and the next car he's going to flip, and whatever's going on. It's at some point, Tiger's got to say to himself, yeah, maybe I am turning myself into an embarrassment. And this, my life is going to, and this is a terrible comparison, but you know, OJ was in the Hall of Fame and he did something terrible to somebody else. if Tiger was to say, like you said, Rich, if Tiger was to kill somebody else, the tarnish on his on his untouchable golfing career would be horrible. It would be terrible, terrible for him to have that.
I'm gonna do and I heard this I stole this from another sports talk show this morning, local. So and they watch occasionally. So I'm telling it right now like it is.
Right.
You're the new commissioner of the PGA Tour. What do you do? Because, they have a lot of, how do you want to call them? Secret suspensions, if you will. Guys suddenly go away for a few weeks and, he must be just taking some time off. They protect them like that. But if you're the new commish, what do you do here? Because Tiger is like the vice commissioner, if you will, without actually having the title. But they've got to do something, because this is, like I said, this is getting to be a very dangerous situation.
Jeffrey, you go first.
Okay.
I think about, now this is kind of conspiracy theory. Let's put our 10 hats on, okay?
All right. I got my green one.
All right.
I got my flat globe out.
Right. It's Michael Jordan retiring. It's Michael Jordan retiring for a year, then coming back. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Me and a lot of other people think it's because of his gambling issues. The NBA had to do something, but they didn't want to say we're suspending him because of gambling.
Right.
Now, you got Tiger flipping cars like he's in the demolition derby. Now, this is public stuff. Yes. They have to do something.
I agree.
They have to. They've got to make a point that they are not going to allow their guys to act like this and then come out and play in the Masters 2 weeks later.
So you're 100% right. But Tiger came out one time already, did a public apology. Now, if you remember that time, Rich, when he went after his first incident, he made a big dramatic.
He needs to go to acting school, by the way. Go ahead.
Right, terrible. And the tell about what his problems are is that he sweats like a horse after winning the Kentucky Derby, just standing in a podium. He's just like that's not a good sign, right? Mm-hmm. So with Tiger in particular, it's not going to be a situation where he needs to come out and put some stock answer into this. He needs to come out with the commissioner and say, look, golf made me billions of dollars, and I'm not going to tear it down. I'm not going to do whatever it may be. Look, let's not make no more comebacks, no more any of this stuff. If I continue to play golf, I'm going to make sure that I'm trying to be the best person I can possibly be. I have demons, and I'll see you on the senior tour every once in a while, and I'll play with my kid in a whatever, a 2-man game or something. Yeah. I'm done. I'm done. The TGL is my baby. That's kind of a fun deal. There's not a lot of people worried about, whatever, but I'm not going to come out there and do whatever. I'm still here to guide. And whatever wisdom I can, and maybe my notoriety helps us get better TV ratings or whatever, but I'm stepping away. Love the game. Love you guys. I'll see you when I see you. I got bigger fish to fry. And I think he has to do that. He got to step away from the game and no excuses. Just walk away and say, I've done all I can do. And I'm not doing anything
not just that, John, get help.
Yeah. Help. No, there's no doubt about it.
It's one thing to step away. It's another thing to actually get help.
It's almost, he is Rich. He is the Hollywood guy who is a drug addict and tells everybody to go get him his drugs. I can't see it any other way than that. Because it's you just can't be that guy doing it over and over and over again. Look, if everybody has car accidents or gets a ticket, this guy is flipping cars at 90 miles an hour. How he is not dead, right, is unbelievable to me. Remember, it was on side streets in Orlando when his wife put the putter through the window,
yes,
and whatever was going on, that he wrecked that car. Okay, and so and God knows how many other cars he's wrecked. You mean it's only what we know. He could have, for all you know, you could talk to his neighbors in Jupiter Island, like, hell, he's run over 17 mailboxes in the last 2 weeks. Right. You don't know. He's like, I'll pay for it. He's got the money, and they're all, they don't want any notoriety. That's like private. They don't care about that stuff. So yeah, I just think it's at the point where he's got to just, bow out, take your bows and do whatever, pop up for something here, but you're not, don't keep on, because it's always like, is he going to play in the Masters? No way this guy plays in the Masters. They put him out there. I can't imagine the Masters letting it happen, because those guys at Augusta National, they're very cool, kind of uptight people, I guess you would say. I don't think that they're jerks. I just think that they're about, we dress in a certain way and we don't talk too loud.
Oh, absolutely.
That kind of thing. And could you imagine Tiger coming up Magnolia Drive, taking out all the flowers in the flagpole? I'm here. Like, holy crap.
I laugh. I shouldn't laugh, but I do. Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, the funny part about it is, at some point in time, I'm always ESPN, they get when it comes to the guys that they really cherish, like a Tiger Woods, who they blew up, and all those guys, and Michael Jordan, they get so somber when it's like, he got in a car accident today. Like we all should be like, oh my God, no, he's a rich guy. He's a screw up when it comes to cars, obviously, and whatever he's putting in his mouth every day. So I mean, tell the story like it is. Don't act like it's some Greek tragedy. It's just it's a guy who's acting like a fool. He's got to get his head on right. That's all. Yeah. But he can't act like a fool and expect everybody to say, "Oh, come on, rush back." You need to go away for a while. You need it for maybe or forever, and just be an exhibition guy at this point.
Right, and the guy literally just announced, I'm coming back. I'm ready to play again. And it's almost like you said, John. It's like the universe is telling him, you're done.
Yeah.
Go be a commentator. Go sit behind a desk and just talk about the sport.
That's a very good way to put it. The universe is telling him something. Will he listen? Who knows? That's
the thing. Yeah. He's so stubborn. Like you said, John, we talked about him a couple of weeks ago. He was as good as he was because he was an asshole. Well, he's still being an asshole, but unfortunately, it's probably going to hurt or kill somebody.
See what I'm saying? An asshole is an asshole all the time. Okay. Right. So he's asshole on the golf course, asshole behind the wheel, probably an asshole at home. Who knows?
Yeah. All right. 941 Sports Zone, episode 32. Mighty Dog Roofing of Southwest Florida. Glad to bring it to you. 941-251-4257. Locally owned, nationally backed. Delivering absolutely exceptional roofing for homes and businesses up and down the Gulf Coast. 941-251-4257. The Lightning are back to playing good hockey. They're in the middle of a 7-game homestand. They won back-to-back games over the weekend. They continue to have issues early. They fell behind 2-0 on Saturday and managed to score the final 4 goals and win that by the count of 4-2. And then Steven Stamkos and the Preds come in yesterday. Nashville scores the first goal in the second period. Lightning able to get it tied up. Nashville leads 2-1, and the Lightning tie it at 2 and win it 3-2. They are now tied with the Sabres at 98 points in the Atlantic Division. The Lightning still have a game in hand, and the Lightning have caught them on regulation wins, which was a tiebreaker that they were not going to win, and now they've caught them. Both teams have 37 regulation wins. They have one more game against each other. Both teams are going to play Tuesday night. Montreal, a team that's fighting for position in the Atlantic, will be at Benchmark International Arena Tuesday night, while Buffalo will host the New York Islanders, who are fighting for their playoff lives. They are, I believe, they're the second wild card. Boston is now the first wild card after coming from 3-0 down to win 4-3 against Carolina in a shootout on Sunday. Carolina leads the Metropolitan with 98 points, but they have 4 fewer regulation wins than both the Lightning and the Sabres. So, I mean, the Lightning have put themselves back in position despite that little swell they went through. They put themselves back in the position in the final 10 games where they could be the number 1 seed in the East.
Yeah.
And is anybody surprised? And they won Saturday's game, by the way. No Nikita Kucherov.
Right. So I'm gonna be really, really tight with this answer for you, Rich. In John Cooper, I trust.
Yep.
Okay. I think he's the best coach in the NHL. I've said it almost every week on when we talk about the Lightning. Kucherov is going to get hot. I like the fact that they had a bad run when they did.
Yeah.
Okay, because they're coming out of that bad run. I like where they're at. I think they could be number 1 seed. Number 1 and number 2, I'm good with either one. I think they're going to make a run. I think they're going to be. If they don't get to the not the finals, but the
conference
finals, I'll be stunned. Okay, I think I'll be stunned. And I am everything you said. I think they're going to find themselves either first or second seed in the eastern half of the playoffs. And I think they're going to be a player going into the Stanley Cup Finals as well. With that, I will say one more thing that about the bottom of the shot sheet. How about John Tortorella in Las Vegas? Is that a place for him to show up to?
Wow,
he was in all these little. He was in Philly for a bit. He was in Columbus. Columbus. He was in. Wasn't he in Nashville for a while too? I think I'm forgetting where he's been. But Vegas and John Tortorella, yeah, baby, there you go. I like that a lot.
Yeah, what is the biggest surprise? That Bruce Cassidy was let go with less than 10 games left in the regular season, or that they hired John Tortorella, which you can argue is Bruce Cassidy light, if you will, because they're both hard asses behind the bench.
Right. Maybe Tortorella's boot in his ass is going to be better than his boot in his ass. I don't know what it is.
I guess.
Tortorella's not going to walk in there and say, "Hey guys, I'm Coach Tortorella. I want to get to know you all." He's going to walk in and say, "We got 10 games, boys. Get your shit together."
We need to get back to the top of the division. Jeffrey, I don't know how much of a hockey fan you are. You can tell me right here, right now. Yeah,
I'm a hockey fan when it comes to the playoffs. If the Lightning are in the playoffs,
what's wrong with that? We all are.
Yep.
So, once May comes around and the Lightning are in the playoffs, I'm all in, baby. Okay. But that's about it. So I couldn't tell you how the players are doing and whatnot, but it's as an avid hockey player, I'm ready to see the Lightning back in the finals.
It's been a couple of years. The Panthers have the last 3 years been there, and they're done. You can officially stick a fork in them. I mean, I guess there's a mathematical equation for them to make the playoffs, but I don't see it. There's less than 10 games left, and they're like 15 points behind. So I don't. It's obviously new math, but nonetheless, their run is coming to an end. It should be an interesting final couple of weeks. The Lightning finished the 7-game homestand and then have a pretty big road trip after that. And in that road trip is a trip to Buffalo. And we all remember what happened the other night or a couple of weeks ago, 8-7 with 102 penalty minutes, fights galore. It will, because Buffalo wants that 1 seed. The Lightning, I don't think, care about the 1 seed as much as winning the fights. I really do. I think they want to send a message. I think Buffalo may have gotten a little better of them the last time. And I can also assure you that Johansson's not going to be in goal. Vasi will be playing that Buffalo game.
And the Lightning, this version of the Lightning is a tougher version of the Lightning from years gone by. I think they needed it a little bit because I think Florida beat him up for a couple of years there. And you've got to have somebody to protect Kucherov. I mean, Kucherov, so that you got to have that. And so pretty much the whole team can do that. So we'll see. Vasi's going to start to stand on his head to win a cup, but I can see it happening, Rich. I really can.
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys a question real quick about the Lightning?
Go ahead, Jeffrey.
Are they – I mean, John kind of just hit it. Are they fighting more this year than they normally do?
Yes. They're more physical.
They're way more physical.
And that's not an accident.
And they're not just fighting. They're fighting because they're trying to make a statement. Okay. I've seen some Lightning guys getting their ass kicked, but they're going to go at it. They're not about to get pushed around because I think that's what everybody thinks. Oh, we'll push around Braden Point. We'll push around Kucherov. The defensemen are a little bit, Hedman's a big dude, but he doesn't like to throw down too often.
No, not at all.
But these guys, the other guys, man, they are not afraid of nothing. What's his face? Corey Perry caught a hell of a punch in the face the other night.
Sucker punch.
Yeah. So these guys are they're not going to, and I will tell you this though, Jeffrey, I think that hockey in general has gotten a little more physical in the last 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
Not that they're telling the refs, let them fight a little more, but NHL knows what sells too. And a couple of watch the first round of the playoffs, and you might watch all of it. You might see some gloves go down in the second, third game of the series.
Well, they're division games. They're division playoff games because the way they do it, the second team plays the third team in the division, so it's a team you're very familiar with. Okay. And if somebody's about to go down 2 games to none or what have you, it turns into a bloodbath. It is it is a lot of fun. I mean, that's the hockey credo. All right, let's move it along here. I'm going to skip the NBA. We can talk about that another time. I guess the only thing
I was going to say one thing about that. Orlando lost by 52.
52 to Toronto last night.
And 52. I want to say it was the guys, it was the Barclays and the Shaqs, and somebody said, "Is Orlando trying to tank?" And they're like, "From what?" I mean,
they're going to be in the play-in tournament. They're so far
clear. They can tank from the 9 to the 10 seed. They're there. So, but again, so it's like, but it's that it was that bad, or it's been that bad for both Miami and Orlando the last couple of weeks that it looks like they're tanking, but they're just not playing well. They're not good.
Well, there's some things for not playing well, guys. Miami is at least trying. I don't think I think they've overachieved this year. Orlando could be looking for a new coach very soon. You lose by 52 with 8 games to go.
Yeah,
I mean, Jamal Mosley could get Bruce Cassidy.
Right. They said Panchero doesn't even want to talk to him anymore. He's totally
and that's a problem.
And he's the main guy there, so that's a done deal.
And that is a players' league. So if Panchero's not going anywhere, let's put it that way.
Yeah. Well, it's funny about basketball. Are they really coaches, or are they just glorified, equipment managers? Because I don't think they do much anymore. I think it's like run down court, especially now. It's either a dunk or a 3-pointer. So what are you going to do? And everybody chucks them up from 3 right now. So I don't know how you can make it. I mean, granted, there are still some great coaches, but boy, if you go deep in a league, you're like, who in the hell is coaching who? What? Yeah. You don't even know a name anymore. So it's tough.
Absolutely. One other thing before we get to our locks of the week and what's bugging me. The first weekend is in the books in the Major League Baseball season. And the biggest thing that I could take from it is the new ABS system.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watch some games. CB Buckner, who is now the worst umpire, and Jeffrey knows. Jeffrey's laughing hysterically. Angel Hernandez saw this ABS coming, and he said, "I'll see you later. I'm done. I've umpired 27 years. I'm good. I'll watch from home." The performance CB Buckner put on in the Red Sox-Reds game 2 of that series. First off, in situations like that where he was wrong so much, I don't think you should run out of challenges. And I think that's part of the I everybody's like, well, you got to be strategic. Well, if a guy is all over the place, I mean, 6 out of 8, 75% of his challenges were overturned, and he was getting visibly upset. What's he getting upset about? That he sucks? I mean,
right.
It's well known that he's not a good ball and strike umpire. He's either got to poop or get off the pot. I mean, seriously, because this is going to happen every 4th day that crew works, that he's behind the plate. And it stinks because, Roman Anthony, in a pretty big situation, I think he had 2 straight or 3. Was it 2 straight or 3 straight pitches that he challenged, and he won every one of them. And it turned out from strike 3 to ball 4. And it actually gave the Red Sox a chance. But overall, I think the ABS system acquitted itself quite well. Major League Baseball's got to look at this and go, well, I don't know if he can umpire. Jeff, you're the baseball guy here, so give me some thoughts. I know you laughed when I said CB Buckner's name, but he's not alone. There are several umpires that are borderline ball strike callers.
Right. They need to hold these umpires accountable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay? They either need to send umpires down to the minors or do something. And this ABS is going to just extradite or expose these guys even more, because these MLB hitters, they know the strike zone.
Yes, they do.
I mean, it's so impressive how well they know the strike zone. And I got to watch a little bit of it last year in minors when when Merrick was playing down in Fort Myers for the Mighty Muscles, and they they tested out in the minors before they bring it up to the majors.
Absolutely.
And let me tell you what, the minors umpires are atrocious. I mean, it was one every 4 pitches was being challenged, and they were winning them. So, but I just read something today where the umpire association and the MLB I'm thinking about the NFL. I'm sorry, but the ABS system is a must, and I love it. And it's when a guy challenges, it's quick. It takes maybe 5 seconds, and the game keeps going.
Yep.
It's not a long, drawn out thing. Speaking about Buckner, Buckner was getting aggravated. I think you're going to see some ejections because he's going to get aggravated. I think someone's going to, when they run out of challenges, someone's going to mock tap the head, and he's going to just ring them right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go a little different route with this because you sort of touched on it when you said about just going into the NFL stuff. But here's the deal: the strongest union of any referees and anything else is baseball. It's been that way forever. They tell MLB they give them the middle finger every chance they get. They've always been that way. They're untouchable. The game's about them. Well, what they finally figured out is what they are to baseball is the Savannah Bananas. Okay, because it's a damn show. It's about how loud you can go, and you kick your leg up, and you do this, and you want to, I always thought it was funny when a guy like Earl Weaver or Billy Martin would get mad at an umpire, but an umpire's got his face just right and is going the same way back at the manager. But that guy gets to stay in the game, and the player or the coach gets thrown, right? Because why?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's special. You can't embarrass the umpire. They embarrass themselves. That's what they are. They do it all the time. So at some point in time, MLB's got to look at these umpires and say, hey, because there was a chance a while ago where they could have wiped all those guys out and started from scratch. And they could have brought a bunch of guys up and said, hey, this is how we're doing it. Guess what? We're going to bring in a system where your balls and strikes are going to be called by a robot or whatever the hell it is, right? Or camera. And get used to it and get rid of those guys. They need to flush their asses out, and they backed off. They were afraid. But I will say this: that's been that way for years and years and years. And now it's just somebody's actually showing them, you're fools. You make foolish calls. It's about what you think the strike zone is, not what it actually is. And I think that's bullshit. And that's what now they're finally getting called out on it and getting shown up. And they're not going to like it. But what can they do? Like I said, throw people out of games or start arguments. Eventually, the fans are going to be like, keep the game moving.
Right.
All your crap's not flying anymore. So
they're not coming to see you.
No,
plain and simple. They're not.
And the funny part about it is the guys that should get the most scrutiny of all are Major League Baseball people. But what umpires get the most scrutiny? Little League. They get screamed at all game by moms and nephews and all these different people, right? Aunts and uncles. And those guys are volunteers, but yet Major League Baseball umpires can be just as atrocious as the Little League umpires, and nobody can talk to them. Oh, don't talk to me. Don't you know who I am? I'm Angel Martinez. You're discriminating against me. No, you're just a bad umpire.
Yeah, I like to say, someone brought this up the other day. How long has tennis been doing their little replay review where they can tell you exactly where the ball hit the line? Like they've been doing that for years.
I would say close to 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Or getting very close to 20 years.
Right. So the technology has been there. It's just they are just now had the cojones to actually implement it.
Yep.
Well,
I agree.
As somebody who worked in the minor leagues for 9 years, I was the official scorer for the Charlotte Stonecrabs for 9 years.
Yep.
From their inception to 2016 when I moved out of town. They ran a lot of things through the minor leagues. Pitch clock was 2014 it started in the minor league. So it's not like this just showed up.
Right.
They have plenty of empirical data, and they've been doing, like you said, they've been doing this in the minor leagues for years, and those umpires are more used to it. So it almost seems like a good idea to maybe elevate some of the good ones, some of the ones that grade out well. You don't just send everybody up. But the ones that grade out well, you bring them up, and you give CB Buckner a little bit of a vacation, and maybe
100%.
he thinks about do I really want to put myself through this?
And what his argument be? he can't say it. The machine's broken, right?
Right.
So he's got no argument, and it's get better. And maybe he doesn't want to get better and that's the point.
Or he can't. Or he can't. Now let's be real. He may not be able to get better.
And that's when you say thanks very much. Here's the gold watch. We'll see you we'll see you on the golf course. Out you go and be done with it. And that's performance based, right? If you had your job and you were wrong,
100%,
you'd be fired. You'd be done. So same thing goes for him.
You know, if these umpires can put their ego
the only
aside,
job where you can be right.
Right. If these umpires can put their ego aside, it could almost be like a training thing for them. They can better themselves from it.
Right. And that's the thing. You're that's got to be. I guarantee the guy's not sitting back pondering his career. He's sitting back figuring out a way he can get them to back off. That's what he's trying to figure out.
Yeah.
So that's how they all act.
Yeah. No question about it. I was going to say the only profession where you can be right 50% of the time and keep your job is weatherman. So anyway, and I don't want to rag on weathermen. If there's a weatherman that watches this, I'm a weatherman.
No, they know it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're up to the final couple of segments of the show. Running a little long today. Locks of the week.
Well, I know my lock of the week.
Yeah, we were rolling along. We were, you and I were having this contest. I'd win, you'd win. I'd win, you'd win. I couldn't gain any ground on you. Well, last couple of weeks, we both are losing. Go ahead.
Tandem losing streaks.
Yes.
That's what we got going here.
I think you had Michigan State, and I had the team that can only put 4 guys in the game in the last minute. Nebraska. What in the world? That's so good that it happened in the Sweet 16 because people have almost forgotten about it after what happened on Sunday with the Duke UConn game and this and that. But wow, what a colossal blunder! And I know that. Listen, the head coach fell on the sword. Good on Fred Hoiberg, but there's some assistants that got to answer some questions. Because what were they doing?
There's no doubt.
There's several guys on the bench. Should be coach. There's only 4 guys out there. Coach,
I can excuse 10 guys and not 11 guys. 5.
Right. Yeah, exactly. There's only 9 guys
out there.
Yeah, there's only 9 guys on the court. Wait a minute, we're in white. There's only 4 of us. Oh my God, that's just incredible. In a Sweet 16 game in the last minute. I mean, that's unbelievable.
That was it. They still had a chance to that point, and it was over after that. No doubt.
All right, so with our both losing, you're 17-10, which is still outstanding. I'm 16-11, which is starting to get a little too close to the Mendoza line for me. You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
I'll go. It's just real simple. I'm going to UConn over Illinois in the semifinal, and then I'll wait to make a prediction. I know I've already kind of thrown it out there, but for the final game because that's next Monday, so we'll still be doing our taping beforehand. So UConn over Illinois.
You taking the 2.5? I'm
taking the 2.5.
All right.
Since it's out there.
I'm going to take the 1.5. I'm going to take the 1.5. I'm going to take Arizona over Michigan. I just think Arizona has 1 or 2. It's going to be an unbelievable game, and there are pro players galore on that floor.
Yeah, absolutely.
In that second game.
Looking forward to. That's going to be a great Saturday night of basketball. There's no doubt about it.
Yes, Jeff, do you want to jump in?
Sure. We're picking basketball games here.
Well, we just have a lock or whatever, but being basketball, we both have decided to go that route.
Yeah, you know what? It's hot in the streets right now. I said it earlier. I'm gonna go UConn.
All right.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna take UConn by 3.5.
Okay, so you're gonna lay the 2.5, and they're gonna cover. All right.
Yep. 100%.
Awesome.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right. We're up to the final segment of the show. What's bugging me? I kind of already gave mine away, but go ahead, John. You want to go first?
Well, me too. And I'm gonna say this week it's not so much as what's bugging me; it's what's disappointing me. And I think going back to the Gary Woodland versus Tiger Woods scenario, it just bothered me. And I kind of said a lot earlier about Tiger, but it's just one of those things where a great story with Gary Woodland that should really get a lot of momentum going into the Masters is smothered up by an all-time great player, arguably the best if you want to, however you want to look at it, but is in another situation, self-inflicted wound, so to speak. He seems to get it. He builds himself back up again. He's had nothing but a home run with TGL, the Indoor Golf League. So it's such a cool deal. He's got a major part in that situation. He doesn't put himself out there too much. They'll talk to him a little bit, but he's not trying to gobble up airtime for those guys that are doing it. And it was looking at potentially a return to the tour, to play in a couple tournaments here or there. Augusta was on his mind, and this is what happens. And it's sad that overtakes what a great story Gary Woodland is. So disappointing is more of what it is to me, and I think golf deserves a little better from one of their all-time greats.
Totally 1,000% agree. You got something bugging you, Jeffrey?
I've got something bugging me, and it started in the NFL, and now it's making its way over to MLB, where games are starting to be aired on Apple TV or Netflix or Peacock. It's going to be Paramount Plus here, I'm sure, or Hulu. It's ridiculous. You got to have all these freaking streaming services just to watch the sport. That's what bugs me.
Yeah, no, that's a great one.
It's in Netflix me a lot of football too. It's the same thing, right? It's just the same thing. And look, it's already been out there, and I know from people I know locally who are getting rid of their streaming services because there's too many. So they've got to pick a lane at some point in time. So if unfortunately, does that mean that you're going to have a splintered audience? Yes, it does. Because you're going to say, well, I have Hulu, so I can only watch the game on Thursday night, or whatever that may be. Look how bad television has been, where MLB is now the home for 11 teams for their games. Yeah. So the Rays are on MLB because they can't get. How do you have the 10th or 11th biggest television market in the country, and you can't figure out how to get a television contract with a local baseball team? That's no good. And then when you're spreading it out that thin, you wonder why more kids are playing golf than playing baseball in some cases.
There you go.
Right?
Yep.
Right. That's what it comes down to. Accessibility to the game to watch it is not there anymore. It's getting less.
And the MLB pass itself is $149. Okay. If you want to watch your hometown team, let's just say the Rays, for example, you got to pay an extra $99. I mean, that's what are we at? We're at about 200 probably 60, 70 bucks after taxes that someone's got to cough up to watch baseball. I mean, come on.
Yeah. And they'll say it's only $1 a game.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what they'll say something like that along those lines. But it used to be free.
Free.
And guess what? Baseball, no offense, there's a lot of games. There's a lot of shitty games too that you're like, I'm going to turn this off. And you'll say to yourself, I haven't watched the game in 2 weeks, but I paid for the whole package. It's hard they can't follow the NFL route because NFL is one game a week. Okay. 18 weeks of football. It's hard to match it in equivalent. So putting it all over the place just makes it harder to watch. That's all.
The NBA is doing the same thing, and their ratings are way down.
Yeah.
Way down. John, you and I talked about this last week. Prime on either Thursday or Friday. It's so hard to find, NBC, Peacock. Is it on one? Is it on both? Now we have NBC Sports Network, which is carrying some of the Peacock games, but not all of them. It's crazy. And I totally 100%.
What's great about this, Rich, is we have a young guy sitting in the middle of us right here. And normally if we did this, they'd say, you're just old. You don't know how to, you're just used to watching 13 stations and da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Nope. It's not because again, I hear more of Jeffrey's age kids saying the same thing. It was cool for a while, but everything else now it's not so cool. You know what I mean? And it's especially for sports. My daughter up in Gainesville, she's always like, I made them get YouTube TV because when I visited up there, I was not going to watch. I'm not going to binge watch The Office. I love The Office, but I'm not going to do it when there's football games on. Right? I'm not doing it. So like I said, okay, you guys have you. My son-in-law wants to watch football, and now they're saying like, yeah, it's stupid. We got too many subscriptions. Right? It is stupid. Guess you know what's on every little Netflix everything. The Office. They're on there. Everyone's got it. You know what I mean? You can watch it on any one of them. They're all there. It's like crazy stuff. So it's too much. All right, Rich.
I'll be quick. Well, I already talked about it. The fact that we got this brand new ABS system and we limit how many times we can challenge. Now, I understand. Okay. And I think I think the limit should be if you get X amount wrong. Like if you get 3 wrong or you get 4 wrong, then you limit it. You
3
stop.
strikes and you're out.
Right, kind of thing. Great. That's fantastic, actually.
Right.
3 strikes and you're out. Listen, but if you're continually right, you shouldn't get penalized. Like the Trevor Story went berserk the other night because they were out of challenges. He couldn't challenge. The ball was clearly out of the strike zone. There's nothing he could do. Alex Cora got tossed out of the game. I mean, they've got to, and I know it's early, and I know they're going to tweak it, and I know they're going to make changes, but that's one I'd make pretty immediately. And I'm going to keep it short and sweet.
I agree. I think because like I said, I always say about in the NFL, it should be the same way too. Like in Canadian football, they can throw flags on everything.
Yeah.
And they got the red flags. They throw them all over the place. But as long as they're right, they can challenge pass interference. You name it, they can challenge it.
By the way, Jeffrey brought something up that wasn't on the shot sheet. It sure sounds like the NFL officials are not going to be there.
Yeah.
In the start, and it's to the point where on May 1st, it looks like the NFL is going to hire some officials and start training, and they're going to change the replay system that basically you can challenge everything.
They
and
need
New
to
York
do
can
it.
jump in. New York can jump in if there's an egregious call. New York can jump in and say, "Hey, you know what? You missed this."
Which you can't have a football game anymore where the whole game goes on and then somebody gets a drive late and then they get the ball back and they can throw the ball 40 yards downfield and they're guaranteed a pass interference penalty.
Yep.
I mean, come on. And then it's like, what was it really pass interference? Oh, that was a bad call. It looked that way. And you can't have it that way where the end of a game is decided on too many games are that way. It's just ridiculous. And another thing I should say too, a rule change. I think it's better in college with a 15-yard penalty for pass interference as opposed to a 55-yard penalty. It's insane that you could chalk something up on a 50-50 ball and you're going to get 55 yards. That would be my offense. If I was behind, just throw it up deep, chuck it up, throw it short because the guy's going to pull your shirt. That's all I would do. Hell, Tom Brady did it, made a career out of it.
Here we go with the Brady hating again. There we go. All right. That'll do it for this edition, episode 32 of the 941 Sports Zone. Very big thank you to Jeffrey Fulcher for joining us.
Go Indians.
Go Indians. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much for having me on.
Go Indians.
Go Indians.
19-1. Barron Collier, I believe, is the opponent Tuesday night.
Tomorrow night.
They've got 5 more games in the regular season, and it's on to the playoffs where the FHSAA has their formula, whatever the hell it is. I would think at 19-1, soon to be 24-1, I would think that the Indians would be the 1 seed. I would just
possible.
I don't think there's anybody around that would be 25-0.
Oh, we should definitely be the 1 seed.
Yeah, no question about it. All right, but that'll do it. And Jeffrey, again, thanks for joining us, and thanks for listening. By the way, I heard you heard last week's podcast.
He's on my mailing list, so to speak.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Like, subscribe, YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Like us. We're on Facebook. We're on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're everywhere. So wherever you can consume your podcasts, we'd appreciate it. And give us some feedback. All right. We can take it. We're big boys. We can take it.
I don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So for Jeffrey and John, I'm Spitz. Until next Monday, it'll be National Championship night. So long, everybody.